Hello everyone. Today I want to share the importance of reading and share my experience. But before then, I have something to read to you guys. It's my first book that I remember from my memory. It's called Brown Bear, What Do You See? And I want to read this to you guys. This book holds a lot of sentimental values for me because I could still imagine the scene. This was when I was in South Korea, and my mom set me on her lap, and we had a cassette player to our right, and this was the first book in my memory that I've read. So I want to share the experience, so let's get right to it. Okay. Can you guys see it? Okay, let's get started. Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin Jr. Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Whoa. Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Purple cat, what do you see? I see a white dog looking at me. Are you gonna see a white dog? White dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. Black sheep, what do you see? I see a goldfish looking at me. Goldfish, what do you see? I see a teacher looking at me. Teacher, what do you see? I see children looking at me. Children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird, a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, a white dog, a black sheep, a goldfish, and a teacher looking at us. That's what we see. Brown bear, what do you see? A classic literature book that everyone should have the chance to see. So, this was my first book that I've ever read, and growing up, I didn't really find the importance of reading. When I would watch other students, my peers, reading books, I never understood how they could sit and read letters. It didn't seem engaging, but yeah, little did I know that in their world, their minds, they were entering a new world. Imagination was activated, and I could never fathom or understand at that moment, but in hindsight, there's so much that was happening inside their mind, the connections that I was making through different concepts, and yeah, I didn't I didn't really find the importance. I have a Bible. I used to read the Holy Bible to go to sleep. Like any long text, really long text, it hypnotized me to sleep. So you're talking to someone who would go to sleep reading the Bible, and I still have not finished this book. There's a lot of content in there, very valuable stuff, but maybe one day. And there was a scholastic book fair when I, like growing up, and scholastic book fairs are, think of it as like a library, but you have all the new books as well, packaged really, really nicely. Well, I didn't really have the fortune to get really big books, so I would just read comic books whenever I went in there. But one year, I did have the fortune to get a Garfield comic book, and reading Garfield made me really enjoy lasagna. I remember after reading, like, if you guys don't know what Garfield is a chubby orange cat, and his life is amazing. All he does is eat lasagna. I know, his life is pretty amazing, huh? And I really, really enjoyed reading comic books when I grew up. I also really enjoyed Diary of a Wimpy Kid and the movie as well. But into text, I didn't understand the words. It wasn't really engaging. But I only started reading, I would say, around 2 years ago, late 17 or early 18s, in that era. And I have the book to share. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And I don't remember all the key concepts, but there's 3 words that really resonated with me, which was cue, routine, reward. And this is the premise of how habits are formed. And I really took that to my life. And this book was, it was a really love and hate relationship. And there's a lot of crevices on here. It took me 4 months to read this book. At least 4 months. Because there were passages when it started talking about sciences and words I didn't understand. I was like, oh, this isn't really resonating with me. I don't understand it. But I just pushed through. If you're beginning to read, you have to push through those moments. Because I really didn't know how to read. I would fall asleep reading certain pages and completely forget like what I was reading, so I would have to go back, trace back. And even now I still have to reread a lot. I'm a slow learner. But you just gotta keep on trying, slowly but surely, because you're making progress, whether you believe it or not. So The Power of Habit was a book that got me into reading. And if you guys haven't started reading, I started reading really recently, so don't always remember to not compare yourself with others' progress, because that really deprives you of joy. Learning, it's a personal experience, and I truly believe that every single human being has curiosity, and it just takes a little spark to get that ignited, and to keep it going it's a lot easier, but it's that first step that's really difficult. I also believe that life, there's 3 things that factors that determines the quality of life. It depends on luck, choices, and actions. Now these 2, the choices and actions, you're in control of. But luck, it's something that you're not in control of. But as long as you mastered the latter two, then luck will play in your favor. I was really lucky to find desire, I guess, because I was quite confused. And it's okay to be confused. It's completely fine. But you must be willing to explore what you don't know and what you want. You have to figure that out for yourself. And at least having the general direction, it gives you so much power because nobody can give that to you. You found it yourself. And reading what made me interested, what interested me, just like growth and development of the mind, that was really fascinating for me. So whatever discipline it is, it could be sci-fi, philosophy, romance, fiction, history, whatever it is, I highly recommend it. After finishing The Power of Habit, I read this book that my cousin had. It's called The Outsiders, and this book was about a guy named Ponyboy, and it talks about two different classes, the socioeconomic classes and the struggles in it. So the experience of reading makes you enter in different realms, like different worlds. A lot of fiction books as well, a lot of novels, and I want to emphasize, especially in this digital age, it's so easy to consume and feel a lot of pleasure, because I've been doing that all my life. But really, there's novelty, and there's my camera just died, but there's great enjoyment and fulfillment that I can't really put into words once you finish a book and explain what you learned. It really does affect your mind. And one quote that really resonates with me, it's usually attributed to Buddhism, along the lines of, when a student is ready to learn, the teacher arrives. And I truly believe that it requires time, but as long as you are willing to learn, there's going to be opportunities for you to seize. I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to learn, and I really want to share the importance of learning, because it has radically changed my life for the better. So, yeah. I hope you guys also take a great joy in reading, whatever it is. Doesn't matter if you know nothing about the subject. It's even the willingness to enter, to dip your toes in fields that you guys haven't before. It excites me, and I'm sure it will for you as well. So, yeah. I saw that the last segment of the video was quite blurry, so I wanted to refilm this segment and conclude by sharing a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. It states somewhere along the lines of, the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think creatively. Intelligence plus character is the true goal of education, by Martin Luther King Jr. I hope you guys learned something. Continue to seek to learn, as it holds so much potential. I truly believe that the day I stop learning is the day I die. And with the access of the internet, with so many free resources, free PDFs of books, audiobooks, we must utilize it to our advantage, because a society compensates based upon your skill and experiences. So I hope you guys enjoyed this time. Thank you guys so much for wasting your valuable time with me, and I hope to talk to you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.